All right, top of the day, wherever you are joining us from around the world. My name is Oluwafemi Ashaolu. Of course, this is Nigeria Super Fans Forum. This is where we discuss everything African football. Of course, with focus on Nigeria and Ghana football. So much went down during the weekend, and of course, Kado Gundari, James Agberebi are around today, and of course, we will be breaking things down nicely on the show today. Guys, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Femi. It's always a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Femi. Always happy to be on the Nigeria Super Fan.
Okay, I of course I know that it wasn't a nice weekend for Cote because Manchester City denied United the FA Cup final. Okay, guys, let's get started on the show today. Of course, Super Eagles technical advisor Jose Peseiro, on the sidelines of the ongoing Super Six in Lagos, he said he still reiterated his initial position that his desire or what he wants to do is to win the 2023 AFCON for Nigeria. We'll be talking about that. And of course, he refused to talk about his contract situation with the Nigeria Football Federation. We'll also be talking about Victor Osimhen. Is he now the candidate for the next Africa Player of the Year? We'll be looking at that also on the show. And then the Black Princesses denied Nigeria's Falconet the maiden edition of the WAFU Under-20 team. So much to talk about on the show. And of course, in Ghana, the Bet Premier League, Medema is looking like they will be running away with the league because over the weekend, the Ghana Stars, they fought at the game on the road. Once again, I welcome. We want you, our fans around the world, to, of course, get into the conversation. What would be your reaction to some of the issues that we'll be discussing on the show today? James, I'll start with you. Let's talk about Jose Peseiro. I do not even know why Peseiro and the NFF have decided to keep his contract as secret as possible because on the sideline of the Super Six, like I said, he was asked about if he enjoyed being the coach of the Super Eagles, and he said, why not? Then he was asked about his contract situation with the NFF, and he said it is not for public consumption. He said it is between himself and his employer. James, should that really be to even start with?
You don't expect him to come out and tell you all is not well when all is to tell you that all is not well when it's so obvious that there are so many things going behind the scene. He's not going to tell you what the contract situation is. It's between him and the NFF. Even if you keep getting hints from different quarters that is being owed, and it's not a new thing. The NFF, when it comes to owing coaches, it's like they are 40. They are very good at it. They leave the development of football, and so they are not really into developing football, but they know how to go after coaches who they feel they can owe, and they feel as if they are doing the coach a favor. So for me, that was one thing I come to realize about Peseiro's issue. It also what happened with Gennett Rowe too, the same issue of owing coaches. So it's when you have square pegs around, these are the kind of things you continue to see, and I don't think we're going to see anything different. He's going to keep his job. I don't think because if you sack him now, you're going to pay him. FIFA will get involved, and so for me, you just have to let's just hope that this doesn't affect the Super Eagles, because he keeps talking about winning the AFCON. How he's going to do that now, I don't really know. Because I don't know the kind of motivation he's going to have, or maybe just saying it in front of camera for everybody to feel all is well. But we know ourselves here. We know that
he said the situation doesn't bother him at all. He said he doesn't think about money.
I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't buy into that. I mean, if everything at the end of the day, maybe he gets sacked. That's when you start to hear all kinds of things.
I could read this mind already on this issue.
So for me, I don't know. This is something that I've been going on for a very, very long time. With the kind of people who run our football, this sad trend will continue, honestly.
Okay, Kayode, a couple of things. Like I said, I could read your mind already, but quickly, okay. I think maybe I should have told James. But let me quickly read some of the quotes from Jose Pessoa in that interview. He said, I enjoyed being the coach of the Super Eagles. First of all, when I signed the contract, I put my mind because I want to win the next AFCON. He said, I came because I believe in this team, in these players, and in the squad. He said, I love my job. I do my best every time, on not only on the pitch, but outside the pitch. And he went on and on. And he said, I don't speak about my contract. I don't think about it at all. I don't speak about money. I don't think about nothing. I do not complain about anything. He said the problem is between me and the federation. For outsiders, anybody can speak lies many times. Currently, one, when a Christian came on board, the GFA, of course, though it wasn't also reviewed initially, but it was later revealed that he signed a 1.5-year contract that a lot of journalists, football journalists in Ghana were not even pleased with, because they believe that he should have been given more than just a 1.5-year contract. But here we are. We knew that Pesero signed only 1-year contract on the initial term. Now we do not even know where we are. One, should this even be a secret? Two, Kyle, this man has played about 8 matches. He's lost almost 6. Yeah. 1, 2. Kyle, is there any motivation, like James said, for him to even think about winning the next AFCON? Because he'll be contending with the likes of Ghana, with the likes of Morocco, even with the likes of Algeria and the likes.
Femi, I know you don't want my opinion about Pesero. And I'm being very,
I honestly want it.
I'm being very honest. Yeah, he could say whatever it is he's saying, because he knows the kind of employers that he has, that they also do not know what they are doing. I'm not sorry to say that. Yeah, he could also say he doesn't care about money, but we know what happened in his last job in Venezuela, when he had to bring in FIFA to collect his money from his former employers. We know, I'm not surprised. I'm surprised that you are surprised about the results he has gotten with the Super Eagles. Because in his former job, he played about 10 games, he won 1, 2, 3, and lost 6. So what are you guys going on and on about? What was his pedigree before coming to the Super Eagles? What outstanding achievement did he record before becoming the coach of one of the former biggest brands in world football? Because you are no longer a big brand. If you are being honest with yourself, what does he bring to the table? What qualified him for the job, apart from the fact that they said a certain Jose Mourinho recommended him?
And he used White Scout to confuse NFF.
Yeah. Femi, if you're going to get another job now, what if I'm an employer? What I will look at before employing you is, what have you done in your previous life, your previous work experience? Pesero would never had anything to recommend him to the Super Eagles job. But he got it all the same. And he got it because he's used to being old. And he knows that at the end of his contract, when he's leaving, no matter how much you are owing him, he's going to bring in FIFA. FIFA will force the federation to pay him. So he's in a good place. I wish I had his job. I won't bother. That's cool money for me. I won't be bothered. So what are you guys going on and on about? That's why I said I don't want to talk about him, because we're going to dig up things that we should better leave unsaid. I don't want to say more than that for me. You know my opinion already.
Okay, Kyle, they assisted with you. James, I'll be coming to you about Victor Osimhen. Kyle, let's talk about the under-20 about the Flying Eagles. Unfortunately, their journey ended yesterday at the World Cup in the hands of Korea. And I remember last week, you actually talked about the capability of these Koreans. You said the Flying Eagles, one of their strengths has been run. And he said these Koreans will match them speed for speed. And that was actually what we saw. But I think the crux of the matter was that the Flying Eagles failed to convert their chances, like we've seen in most of the matches they played at the competition.
Let me start this way. Yeah, I am not taken in by the performances of the Flying Eagles, but if they create chances for me, it shows that they did something right. That's one thing we should not lose sight of. Because if you say a team is not good because they are losing chances, you should also credit them for creating the chances in the first place. So if they are creating those chances, it just means that you need a little bit of tweaking. And this is where coaching comes in. If you don't have the kind of technical expertise to be able to panel those chances into scoring opportunities, then that is the problem of the coach. And like I have said, I don't want to start sounding like a broken record. We have a coaching problem, not a talent problem in Nigeria. What we have is a coaching problem, and I'm not sorry to say this true again. Or you see this in all of our national teams. Already, we lack the fundamentals for me. We have players coming through the ranks who did not have the basic knowledge or training about the fundamentals of football. If they do not get that at that level and they now get into national teams and they also have coaches who do not have the basics, then there's a big problem. That's why, you see, man for man, talent for talent, we rank among the best in the world if you are able to put all of this together. But bring any coach from anywhere in the world, Femi, because it's just like you trying to get into a university without having gone to primary and secondary school. It's not going to work. No matter how talented you think you are, you will come short at a point in time. So I am not sure the Koreans are not half as talented as the Flying Eagles. No. The Koreans, the Flying Eagles may be better than some other teams who are in the semifinals today, but the fact is we are home already anyway because we lack the basics, the fundamentals, and that is common to most African teams, Femi, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, Nigeria, Senegal, and Ghana, and the rest of them. So that's where we should start our football development from, learning the basics.
Okay, thank you for that. James, let's talk about Victor Osimhen. Of course, the Serie A season ended yesterday, and a lot of Nigerians were disappointed for the fact that he wasn't awarded the most valuable player of the 2022-23 season. But of course, he was named as the best striker, and he also won the Golden Boot to shatter the 125-year history of the Serie A, in which no African player has emerged as the Golden Boot winner. So much record this season for Victor Osimhen. Of course, he's now the highest goal-scoring African in the league. But James, should we begin to think about the African Footballer of the Year award for him now? Should we just crown him at the moment?
Not yet, but I think so far so good. I think he has positioned himself in a way that it will be difficult not for him not to make the top three. I mean, this is somebody who broke a record that never happened before. Remember, he was voted the best foreign athlete in Italy. And also, he broke George Weah's record. He broke Samuel Eto'o's record. So, and his goals helped Napoli to win the Serie A since 1990.
After 33 years,
so which means he played a very big role. So what better way to honor him? So I'm not going to say he's 100% going to win the African Footballer of the Year, but I think he's one of the strongest contenders because remember we still have some players too. Yassine Bono of Sevilla, he helped them to win the Europa League. Then we have El Nesri too, the striker. Then we have Riyad Mahrez is also there. He's on the verge of winning the treble. But why I'm not too bothered about Mahrez, because if you check out that Man City team, if you take out Mahrez, they are still a solid.
They wouldn't feel it.
It brings something into the team, but I think it's somebody that even if he's not there, they can still maneuver their way. Unlike Osimhen, who at some point got injured during the season, missed a couple of games, came back and still finished top scorer. I remember he only scored one penalty in the course of the season. In his 26 goals, 25. He only scored one penalty. So for me, I would say it should be like let's say 80% in terms of this opportunity of winning the African Footballer of the Year. Because, like I said, who did a lot. He's not just one of the players there who just part of the team. He was a key actor in the Napoli winning the league. So for me, I think it's an opportunity. I think for a very long, the last time we won it was 1999. So I think Osimhen is in the right place to break that long spell of a Nigerian player winning the African Footballer of the Year.
Okay, Kade, very quickly, would Osimhen need to win the AFCON next year to be crowned the African Player of the Year?
See, when it comes to CAF and African football and football politics,
Anything is possible.
nothing is certain until it is done.
Exactly.
And like James brilliantly said, there are a couple of guys that I don't want us to lose sight of simply because we're trying to be patriotic. Yeah, Osimhen is out there, the front runner, poised to win that title, because you look at it from the angle and I'm very happy the way James put it, that if you take Mahrez out of the Man City team, they will still have been in a position to win the treble. But if you take Osimhen out of Napoli, they had just a bunch of 11 players running around the pitch, and we empirically we could confirm that from when he got injured during the course of the season. We saw that and he was out for a period of time. We saw how they faltered and everything. So for me, I think is very important. One, then two, the press have also helped him, and I'm not talking about the Nigerian press alone. I'm talking about the European press too, the Italian press. They have helped to position him, because see, Italian football is going through a very rough patch. So they need bright lights. Over the last few seasons, Spanish football, English football have overshadowed them. Now they are also trying to project Osimhen, and Osimhen is not playing for Juventus, he's not playing for Inter Milan or AC Milan, the big three. He's playing for a small team. Napoli, a small team by all indications. So the fact that he's able to project them to the title, the fact that he's top scorer, he has scored 26 goals, which no African player has done before, makes him a shoe-in for our best African player. But like I said, nothing is certain until it is done. I will believe Osimhen is the African Footballer of the Year when he is crowned. Not until. I learned from Mikel Obi's case in 2013. I learned
Okocha versus Mustafa Haji.
Okocha versus Mustafa Haji. So
yeah,
things have happened. You understand that? And I also know, not being overly patriotic, I also learned in 1999, let me say, I was of the opinion that I would have given that title to what's his name? Manuel Kufo instead of Kano. That's me being very, very honest with you. I would have given him, but then some people said, "Oh, you don't score a hat-trick every day." And like I remember, Emmanuel Kufo said something. He said, Kano got that title because he scored an hat-trick, not because Chelsea, right? He did in the season. So I also believe because Emmanuel Kufo was solid that year, I would have given him the title. So I've come to understand CAF politics, that nothing is done until it is actually done.
They meant Samuel Kufo.
Samuel, sorry. There's another player called Emmanuel Kufo.
Emmanuel Kufo, yeah.
So I was going to say Samuel Osei Kufo. So nothing is done until it's actually done.
Okay.
So let's wait and see.
All right, okay, but CAF will tell you that people vote, not the executive.
Now scare me.
Okay, let's talk about the Super Six. The Super Six ongoing at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena here in Onikon, Lagos. Of course, Yimba. Of course, they let in a late goal to finish 2-2 against Remo Stars, and Rivers United. Of course, they showed where they played on the continent this season. They recorded a 1-0 victory over Sunshine, while in the last game of the day, of course, we had Lobby Stars and the perennial draw master, Bendel Insurance. They played a goalless draw. So today, of course, matches will be going down in match day 2 of the playoff. We have Lobby, they will be playing Yimba, the Rivers United will be hosting Remo. Then we have Insurance, who will be playing Sunshine. Once Sunshine lose today, I think they should be kissing the tournament goodbye. Of course, we talked about the maiden edition of the WAFU Under-20 tournament for the girls. Of course, the Black Princesses, they defeated the Super Falconets on a penalty. So I think the Ghanaians should not make any big deal of this situation. Okay, let's take it to Ghana.
Why shouldn't they make any big deal of it?
It's just the girls Under-20. It's just the girls. It's just the girls, and of course.
So, I mean, whatever. As long as it's Nigeria, Ghana, no matter the level or gender involved, they always celebrate the victory. So, yeah, congrats to the Black Princesses.
it could have gone either way anyway. It could have gone
Yeah.
either way. Yeah. Okay, let's take a trip to Ghana now. And of course, now we'll be trying to set an agenda for Chris Hughton. Remember that on the 14th of this month, precisely on Sunday, the Black Stars will be taking on Madagascar in faraway Antananarivo. Now, Coyote, I think it will be okay. Let me throw this to James. James, I think it will be better for Chris Hughton to think of wrapping up the qualifiers, then begin to prepare for the tournament proper, which is just about 6 months away, because he's new on the job, though he's been with Otuhado for probably a year from the qualifiers to the World Cup in Qatar last year. But I think it will be better for him to wrap up with a victory in Madagascar and know that it is done and sorted.
Yeah, that would be the best way to go about it, because by the time you play the final game, I mean, you will not be under any pressure, or not as if you go all out to win, because you know what pressure can do to teams, you know. But Madagascar will have a big say in that. This is a very tricky team. It's not a team that you just think you just roll over, you know. So I mean, nothing stops the Black Stars from getting all 3 points, because I know that an outright win will just seal the qualification for them. And let's just hope that will be possible for them, because when you go into your final game, having already qualified, give the coach the opportunity to try out other players, try out new tactics. You give the main guys kind of breathers. You can even use players from the league. You mix things up. Those fringe players, the home-based players. So for me, it now depends on what the outcome of the game against Madagascar will be. But the most important thing is they must not lose that game. Even if at the end of the day you go for the victory and it doesn't happen. I mean, just make sure that at least you come up with something. At least they point to the bad idea, because that's what they did against Angola. That's how they were able to take care of the Angola business. They got 4 points from it. So when it comes to head, I know that they taking against Madagascar game. I won't lie to you. But Madagascar have proven that in the cup in recent times now that they are not a pushover side. They're going to give any team a run for their money. But I believe that the Black Stars, they are good enough to at least get a point from the game.
Okay, Kayode, will it be too early? Kayode, will it be too early for Chris Hughton to begin to think about the 2023 AFCON now? Bearing in mind that after the game against Madagascar, it has a home game against Central African Republic in September. But would you think that it is too early for Chris Hughton to begin to think about, or for us to set an agenda for Chris Hughton to begin to think about the 2023 AFCON? You remember things out the chronology of things now. Remember, Cote who said Ghanaians should expect a major trophy soon, and for over 40 years, Ghana have not even won any major tournament.
I do not subscribe to the idea of setting agenda for coaches, because then you start putting them under undue pressure. I think what we should do is be sure that we have given this person all the necessary support that he will need, and hope for the best. Nothing is given in football, Femi.
But I think Dr. Kosokrako has done that stylishly, for him to have told the Ghanaians to begin to expect the major tournament soon, the major trophy.
You can only hope, regardless of everything you've done. Just satisfy your conscience that you've given this person every material needed to succeed. But then that does not also guarantee you a title. You can only hope that everything will come together, because after getting the materials, you get the men that you need, you get the materials, you get the money that you also need, because money is also important. Then you need an X factor, luck, Femi. Whether you like it or not, there is a place of luck in whatever it is we do. Because not every time that the best team wins. And you don't have to be the best to win. You also have to be at your best on the day. There's a difference in that, a technical difference, that you may not be the best team overall, but you should just be the best on the day. When you play anybody, just give of your best. Everything works together for you and you win. 5 years, 10 years, nobody will ask who was the best team. Everybody still keeps talking about the 1982 Brazil team, that they were the best team at the competition. But you know what, Femi? They got kicked out. Nobody talks about them again. When you talk about former winners, you not talk about Brazil in 1982. We talk about somebody else, because they did not win, regardless of how talented they were. So luck also plays a part in it. So if you have money, you have materials, you have the men, you also have to look for the luck. So all of this will come together. But I do not want to put either Chris Hughton or any other coach under pressure by saying, we are giving you a target. You have to get to the semifinals. You have to get to the finals. You have to win the title. No, if they win it, fine. If they do not, life goes on.
Okay, of course, the GFA, remember that they've arranged a couple of friendlies, beginning with a game against the United States of America in October for the Black Stars in preparation for the 2023 AFCON. And of course, the GFA has also said that another friendly should be coming on after the game against the USA. Okay, let's talk about the Pepper Premier League now, guys. It's not looking good for Edonas. I think the title is lost for them now because over the weekend, of course, they lost away to Beckham United. I looked for RTU again. I still couldn't find RTU on the Premier League table. Really, I don't know. They will mention Quara United. Quara United played on the continent this season, even though they said the ticket fell on our laps. But of course, we played on it. It's in the record for life. Okay, so quickly, we'll just pick a couple of results. So Tremor defeated the Ghana Stars on the road 2-1, like I told you. Then Smartex, of course, with Medema, they played goalless draw. And on the table now, Medema has 57 points, just one game to go. And the victory will just seal it for Medema. But I think it's going to be an away game. That's going to be very tricky for them. Beckham United, now second. Edwana, now third. Very sad. This one is even worse than what Arsenal did to some of us who were rooting for them. And King Faisal have been relegated from the Betpower Premier League. Of course, remember that King Faisal, they have a lifeline, which is the MTN FA Cup, which will be coming up on the 18th of this month. They'll be playing against Dreams. Dreams ended the dream of Aduana Stars. So let's see if King Faisal will meet some
Kings.
Yeah, of course, on the King Faisal. Okay, let's talk about the CAF Champions League quickly, guys. There is no time. The CAF Champions League, of course, we saw Alali, very narrow victory, 2-1 over Wydad now. How did that result come as a surprise? It was 2-0 at first, then it became 2-1. Going into the second leg against Wydad, I think Wydad are the holders. It's going to be very difficult for Alali in Morocco.
Yeah, I'm very happy. It is against a fellow North African team. If they were going to play any other team, even if they have a 1-0 advantage or they play a 0-0 game going into the second leg, you never can tell because the Algerians, especially Ali and Zamalek, they are so wily, they are so tricky that they will throw the books at you, do every dirty tricks in the book to make sure that they win. But against a fellow North African team, they will meet their match. Yeah, they will meet their match. As a Shooting Stars fan, I will not forgive any Egyptian team. But over
1996,
over the years, and in 1984 too, the same Zamalek.
They forgive and forget.
But over the course in the intervening years, I've met some very good Egyptian friends who have become like brothers to me. So sometimes we talk about all of these things, and you know what? If it is meant to be, it will be. But like I said, I want to see a good game. I want to see a good game. I want. I don't care if any of the two teams win it. I don't have a horse I don't have a dog in the fight, so I would not be bothered either way.
Okay.
I just wish that very, very soon Shooting Stars will be back on the continent and will be in the Champions League final again.
Quara United will have won it back to back. James, Quara United will have won the Champions. James, in 30 seconds, of course, we are about to run out of time. Talk about the CAF Confederations Cup now. Of course, we saw USM. Young Africans, I meant to say, they brought the fight a little too late into the competition, but of course, USM Oja ensured they won the title because Young Africans won 1-0 away of course, in Morocco, but it was too little too late.
I think it is that time CAF scrap this away goals rules because you see teams come out and they do all they can, but this away goals, I think you have to. I don't know if they copy the Europeans because I mean after losing at home, you now went away in North Africa, won, but at the end of the day, the away goals, how to decide it. To me, I think for me, this year competition, the competition scope for me, the team of the competition is Young Africans. I mean, young. Vibrant, enterprising team. They almost won it. So I mean, they're the team that we have to watch out for in the next edition. Yes, I don't know what their position is in the Tanzania League, but
they won already. They won the title.
Yeah, so which means they are going to play in the Champions League. So expect
a
very good team, a very good performance from them. So good luck to them. Hopefully they will at least one day win one of the continental titles in Africa.
Guys, thank you so much for your incisive analysis on the show today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys, thank you so much, our fans around the world, for sharing part of your day with us once again. Please, we want you to get into the conversation on issues that we've discussed on the show today. We'll see you all later in the week. Bye for now.